This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado. I'm here with Bruce Cameron Consulting. He is dedicated to helping businesses and organizations thrive by leveraging the power of positivity. I am here with the keynote speaker, transformational leader. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us here today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to start off a little bit about yourself. You're formally educated with a bachelor's degree in psychology from Wake Forest University. Your work experience really is vast, as a business owner to a chief people officer to a director of communications. I mean, really, you have worked with many notable brands in the past. Share with us a little bit how your past has led you to your passion today, which is consulting and helping others.
Well, thanks, Gary. It's funny. Steve Jobs said at one point in an address that he made that you don't know where you're going until you look back and you're able to connect the dots. And what I've found in my career is that from starting as an educator and working with teenagers to owning a business to being a chief people officer to being a director of communication, all of those things helped inform me about human development. And every one of those things made me smarter, wiser about what people were looking for and how businesses could then leverage people, not as widgets, but as integral parts of the business. In fact, the people make up the business. Without them, the business doesn't run. And so when you can find how people work and what's important to them and give them the care and show them that you value them, then they will run through walls for you and drop those KPIs to you. So it's all been connecting the dots of how different people work
That's
to
that's
get what they want.
interesting. Like you say, you look back at your past, connect the dots, and it's pretty easy why you're doing what you're doing. Your company, they focus on transformational leadership. How do you define transformational? What does that mean to you?
Well, you start with servant leadership, and servant leadership, it's a buzzword in today's business and organizations, but what it really means is focusing on people first. And transformational leader, when you focus on people first, then the KPIs that every business and organization is looking for actually fall to the bottom. So it's looking at that leading indicator, people, that is more difficult to measure. The KPIs that companies are looking for might be
Yeah.
speed, it might be labor, it might be food cost. Those come after. When you look after the people, they'll bring those KPIs to you, and your profits and transactions will fall to the bottom line. That's what transformational leadership is.
I mean, speaking of what companies are looking for out there, every company is looking for an advantage. You teach that positivity is a competitive advantage. Can you kind of elaborate on that philosophy a little bit?
Even more than that, I think positivity is the competitive advantage. It's the difference between success and mediocrity. When you focus on a positive growth mindset, then you're able to not eliminate situations. Bad things happen to all of us. It doesn't mean that you're rose-colored glasses looking at reality, but it does mean that you're able to see that reality and use your imagination quicker to find different avenues of possibility, ways to find solutions that you maybe didn't see before. That's what positivity does. It bounces you faster to look for solutions.
Positivity opens up possibilities, really. Without it, we don't really see them. You offer consulting to help coach teams to reach their goals. I mean, what is the single most common obstacle that prevents teams from achieving their objectives, would you say?
Trust. I think it's trust, Gary, and that be, if we don't trust the leaders that lead us, then we're not showcasing the best version of ourselves. Our leaders, our transformational leaders, have the courage to trust the teams that they hire, and then they allow them to go out and do what they do best. And our leaders have to realize that people will follow when they believe that they have a vision. And it's the job of our leaders to really transfer their beliefs to the people that they lead. Once we believe in what our leaders believe in, then we'll work hard. We'll be more productive. We'll stay longer. We'll be happier. And the results are that the business leaders and the business itself gets the productivity and the profits that they're seeking.
I mean, I see owners many times, they trust their gut when it comes to picking people. Then later on, they don't trust their gut to see what those people can actually do. I think that's
Yeah.
important. On your website, I mean, you're very transparent about pricing and the investment requirements, especially around your workshops. I mean, what kind of outcomes can a client expect to see, would you say?
Well, they're not only going to, everything that I do has three elements to it. So it's inspiration, education, and motivation, Gary. So when I work with people, my job is to inspire them first so they can open up their brain to see that this is a good thing. There's an opportunity here to move forward. Then it's educating them on, okay, now what is it I need to change to become the best version of myself, and finally motivating them to actually take action on what they've learned and what they've been inspired to listen to. So when you put those three things together in every workshop or every keynote that I do, what a client expects and what I intend to deliver is that they not only learn something new that they hadn't thought of before, but they get the action steps that they need to implement to make a change in how they're approaching the business or their organization. So they actually go out and do something different.
Interesting. I mean, your mission, like you said, is people first. Can you kind of elaborate on what that means in a business context and how you apply that principle when working with an organization, or maybe even an example of something you've seen in the past?
Sure, people first is simply focusing on the people that are your business and giving them, we communicate to connect. And when we connect, then we're able to teach. And when we're able to teach, we're able to get the results that businesses and organizations are looking for. But not only that, the people that we're leading then become, rather than widgets that we're asking to deliver on a specific KPI, we're asking those people to be their best selves and to then play to their strengths. People first is playing to your strengths and allowing people to do, as you said, do what they do best. An example of that is I worked with a restaurant manager who was about to be fired. And the owner came to me and said, okay, um, you say you can change this, do it. Show me what that looks like. And so I went in and talked to this lady and very transparently, what she was doing was she was pushing her employees to achieve results, specific results on speed and on labor and on food costs, for instance. And they were leaving, and the complaints were getting worse. And customers were leaving, sales were down, transactions were down, nobody was happy, and that's why this manager was getting fired. When we were able to have a conversation, I was able to show her that people first was a different, she needed to surrender to a different philosophy, that if she looked after her team would look after her guests. And so we put into place a very, very simple tactic, which was the action step of smiling. And we graphed that, and I gave her a clicker that she was her only job during the day for me was to click every time she smiled, whether that was at a team member or whether it was at a guest. By being able to graph that, I was able to show her, and she was able to see results that she in fact smiled more. What happened from that is her team members relaxed, they stayed longer, they engaged more, not only with each other, but with their guests. And the guests came back, they were more forgiving. They were they were friendlier as she became friendlier, and the whole thing spiraled up. She not only kept her job, her restaurant was in the top 5 for the end of that year, and she went on to become promoted, all because of a change in philosophy and the surrendering to something that was no longer working, the fact of pushing for the KPI and demanding results, to actually caring and trusting
Wow.
and showing that she loved her people. And the result was that everybody won.
I mean, like you said, those are tangible actions somebody can take. They seem pretty simple, but quite honestly, they're not. I mean, I'm nearby Disney World right here. I go visit that place monthly just to understand and learn about business, customer service. And I'll tell you what, everyone's smiling. And then you wonder why it's the happiest place on earth, not only to work at, but also to hang out in. So I think those are really tangible actions you're providing there. I mean, your vision is to help people and teams to become the best version of themselves, like you said. I imagine it's pretty hard to measure success and some of that progress along the way. Many times it's not even short term, but is it long term that they see over a long haul as well?
It is, Gary. It can be very difficult. I mean, any business owner will tell you, of course, I need my people to be happy. They understand it intellectually. It's making that journey from the head to the heart, that 18 inches, to actually trust themselves to believe that people are their business and to allow time and to not only intellectually believe that their people need to be happy, but to do the actions themselves. Again, it's the leaders that we need to showcase. Here's what I believe. Here's the vision that we have for each other in the business. And that's why vision is so important. And I help a lot of companies start there. What is your vision? And that needs to be aspirational. It's not metric driven. It's something about where an emotion can be stimulated within each one of the people that work with you and for you, to say, here's where we're going. Here's our North Star, that we're all in the boat facing the same direction. We have a paddle and we're all moving together to achieve something that's larger than themselves. When a business owner can make that move, then they will see results faster. They will see them sooner. And they won't butt up against the wall and say, this isn't working. I don't understand it because I can't put it on a spreadsheet. They'll actually see the results in their lagging indicators, is what I call them. People first is the leading indicator. Do that. Look after your people in tangible ways. And it's care, it's one-on-ones, it's smiling. It's all those things that show that you love the people that are helping you achieve your results. And you'll get your lagging indicators, your KPIs of sales, transactions, whatever it is you're measuring that says that you're
It's
being successful.
I mean, it's one thing to get all your people lined up towards the North Star. I think there's companies out there don't even know what their North Star is, and not everybody in their organization even understands what that North Star is. So I think that's so important. And you've identified your core values as inspiration, education, and motivation. I mean, do you think these values not only work independently, but actually even work together to really define your consulting?
And I think you're wise in saying that a lot of companies don't know what their vision is. They may have a mission statement that hangs on the wall, that's a paragraph long and has interesting jargon. That the mission is the what, the vision is the why are we doing what we're doing. And that's why people show up. When they can replicate, when they can repeat a very simple mission as to why they're doing what they're doing, then they'll show up and they'll stay longer and they'll be more productive for you. The the inspiration, education, and motivation absolutely work together, because we all insist on being entertained, that we expect it. So the inspiration comes first because you're trying to get people to listen to you. You're trying to raise their enthusiasm to say, oh, this person has actually something that's interesting for me to listen to, that applies to me personally. And then the education, now when you've opened the door, now you can step in and say, okay, here's something that we could do differently that is going to make you a better person and lead a more fulfilled life. And then the motivation is the follow-up to say, okay, you're inspired to think differently, you're educated on something tangible that you can do, and then you send them out with the motivation to actually take action. We all need to be motivated. And now you send them away and they actually put it into practice. So yes, they absolutely all work together. There's a
I think it was a
strategic plan there.
I think it was a book I read many years ago. I think it was The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. I mean, what I love about your approach is that this is more than just be positive suggestions or widgets, as you say. I mean, you provide tangible, workable solutions like the energy bus model. I mean, it's about taking charge of your attitude and building grit. Does this strategy shift their mindset from negative to a positive one? And why is grit necessary?
The energy bus is an interesting example because what you're trying to do is again you're trying to hire the right people that understand your vision and buy into your vision, get them on the bus in the right seat with their strengths where they can be again the best version of themselves. And absolutely grit, because bad things happen to us. There are bad situations. We all go through them. They're our own unique journey, but we all understand and have empathy for each other, if we will, to understand that some of us are going through difficult times at different times in our life. So having people on the bus understanding that positivity doesn't eliminate the bad situations. It just allows you to breathe, and when you can breathe, you're able to see a different way of moving forward. And that's where the grit is. It's the courage to let go of something that's not working to find a different way of moving forward. And so the energy bus helps us to do that all together as a team, moving towards the destination that we've all bought into.
Yep, I've seen so many leaders in my past that are the kings of comeback because they basically can look at their biggest downfall or their biggest problem and they turn it around looking for possibilities and solution. You have to have a positive mindset to even think that way. I mean, so you partnered in the past with author Jon Gordon, and you use his books as a basis for your consulting. Why was his writing a great fit for your vision in consulting others?
The beauty of Jon was he and I both believe in the same things. The smart thing that Jon did was he put it down on paper. He put the principles that I've taught all my life down on paper in 31 books, now I think 18 bestsellers, to talk about there's things that you have to do. You can't just wake up and say, oh, I'm going to be positive. Yay, woo woo, everything is wonderful and unicorns and confetti. Like anything, whether it's weightlifting or getting good at a sport or whatever it is, or having a successful relationship with someone that you love, takes practice. It takes work. It takes building those muscles. And positivity, what Jon did was put those principles down on paper so that I can now take them and implement them into the programs that I do. He was smart. He was a really smart guy to put it down. So to get this, here's what you have to do. And so many people think that positivity is just a woo-woo thing that you say, oh, I'm going to be happy-go-lucky. I'm going to be, and everything is going to go my way. It doesn't happen that way. Like anything, it takes work, it takes practice, it takes discipline.
Absolutely. We're definitely not looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. We're basically looking at the world that there's possibilities behind those challenges, and you can definitely learn from them. Let me ask you this. You not only work with teams, but entire audiences. As a keynote speaker, what is the key message you aim to leave them with? And can you customize your message based on your audience, would you say?
Well, let me answer the last part of that first. Absolutely, it's customized because people are looking for different things. Organizations, people, we're all in a different place in our life as we evolve and move through this journey. So yeah, the keynotes are absolutely tailored to the audience that you're speaking to, and you know this as a professional interviewer as well. What you're looking to do is, again, give that audience something that makes them feel differently. It's an emotional impact that you want to have because we learn through emotion, because we insist on being entertained. And that's why we have movies. That's why we have books. That's why we have podcasts. All of those things entertain us. And it's through the entertainment and the storytelling that we're able to learn something different, because we all want to evolve. We all want to be better at what we do. We all want to have a successful time on on our journeys around the sun. So yeah, in a keynote, what I'm doing again is I'm tailoring it to the audience that I'm talking to and where they are within their world and within their journey, but doing that through an inspirational story, and then moving them to educating them on something that they might do differently to become a better version of themselves, and then motivating them so that they leave that keynote with something that they can actually apply. So they don't leave just feeling, oh, that was great and I had a great time and I feel better. But now what can I actually do? What can I put into practice? What's the one thing, the nugget that I can take from that story to be able to implement into my life and into my business, into my relationships, that makes those stronger, better, and more impactful?
I mean, I think your approach really is a perfect balance of not only tangible things, action they can take, but also getting them there on an emotional level, taking them from that 18 inches from here to here, where they actually walk away and they feel it as well. Then they can use those action steps that you provide. So,
Thank you.
how does a company get started with your organization? How do they get started with you?
Well, that's fairly easy. They can go to my website, which is wbrucecameronconsulting.com. They'll learn about the programs that I focus on. And again, as we've talked about, they're all going to be about positivity, because I've really come to believe in the 30 years that I've been doing this, Gary, that it is the competitive advantage. And so our conversation will be around that and what they want to achieve within their needs. And we'll tailor that talk to what they're looking to accomplish with their people. And that'll either be a workshop, which is about 3.5 hours, or a keynote, which is about 60 minutes, depending on what they're looking for. We break that up into
Yep.
time slots that's useful for them. So that's probably the best way to get started, is find me
I
there.
hope people out there reach out to you. I mean, Bruce, you believe that our organization's mission, vision, and values are the foundation for building its culture, business, and legacy. I mean, I can really see how your dots in your past have pointed to what you're doing today. I think it's a great story, and definitely a privilege for me to provide it to my audience. So thank you so much. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is his website. On the website, you can see all the workshops he provides, as well as great testimonials, and see many well-known brands that have trusted him in the past. You can reach out today and find out how a positive outlook can directly impact your company's bottom line. Once again, that is Bruce Cameron Consulting. Positivity and success. You can have them both. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.